Baldur's Gate 3. Detailed Story Overview. Baldur's Gate 3 is a role-playing video game, RPG, developed and published by Larian Studios. It is set in the universe of the Dungeons & Dragons, D&D, tabletop role-playing system, specifically using the 5th edition rules. This story is rich in fantasy, politics, and dark magic, and it builds on the lore of the Baldur's Gate series, combining elements of classic RPGs with modern storytelling, tactical combat, and player choice. Prologue: The Tadpole's Curse. The story begins with a player character, PC, one of several customizable heroes, being captured by a group of mind flayers, dangerous, psionic aliens who wield tremendous power. The PC, along with other prisoners, is implanted with a mind flayer tadpole inside their brain, which begins to alter their biology, slowly transforming them into one of the mind flayers themselves. However, the story takes a sharp turn when the mind flayer ship, where the characters are held captive, is attacked by an unknown force. The ship is destroyed, and the PCs crash land in the Forgotten Realms, near Baldur's Gate. This marks the beginning of the protagonist's journey, as they are now cursed with the parasitic tadpole, but also gifted with strange new powers. The player's journey, allies, and choices. The PC quickly realizes that the Mind Flayer tadpole is more than just a simple curse, it's also a source of incredible power. As they explore the lands surrounding Baldur's Gate, they discover that other creatures and beings are also being corrupted by the same parasitic tadpoles, and some of them have developed strange abilities similar to the PCs. Along the way, the PC is introduced to various companions, each with their own backstory, motivations, and agendas. Some of the most notable companions include Asterion, a charming but dangerous vampire spawn, cursed to a life of servitude to his dark masters. Gale, a wizard with a deep secret, carrying a destructive magical entity inside him, leading to moments of internal conflict. Shadowheart, a devout cleric of the goddess Shar, with a hidden past that intertwines with the overall story. Lae'zel, a fierce Githyanki warrior, hellbent on using the tadpole's powers to fight the mind flayers, even if it means bending moral boundaries. Wyll, a human warlock with a pact with a devil, seeking redemption for the misdeeds he's committed. The story also introduces the Absolute, a mysterious cult that seems to be hunting those with the tadpoles in their heads and possibly manipulating them to their own ends. The party dynamics are shaped by the player's choices, and companions may support or oppose the PC depending on their decisions. The freedom to make choices, whether it's aligning with or betraying various factions, helping allies, or making morally dubious decisions, is one of the key aspects of Baldur's Gate 3. The Mind Flayer Threat. As the game progresses, the full scale of the Mind Flayers and their role in the world becomes more apparent. The player learns that the Mind Flayers are trying to unleash an ancient and terrible power. They have manipulated a powerful artifact, which they plan to use to summon a godlike entity, and the tadpoles are just a means to an end. The PC's transformation into a Mind Flayer is part of a much larger and more sinister plot. Throughout the game, the PC encounters other factions with their own agendas regarding the Mind Flayers. These factions may include necromancers, wizards, and powerful lords, all seeking to either defeat or harness the Mind Flayers for their own purposes. The tadpoles are not only a tool for the Mind Flayers, but also for various other factions who seek to control the forces at play. The conflict with the Cult of the Absolute. A significant part of the game revolves around the Cult of the Absolute, a mysterious and dangerous religious faction. The cult worships a dark power that seems to be connected to the Mind Flayers' efforts to control the tadpoles. The Absolute has infiltrated many areas of the Forgotten Realms, spreading chaos, and its influence grows stronger as the game progresses. Many factions, including the Flaming Fist, Baldur's Gate's ruling group, are either investigating or outright fighting the cult. The Absolute may represent the evil path in the game, though players can choose to side with or oppose the cult, making decisions that will impact the game's ultimate ending. Aligning with the cult may provide some insight into the bigger picture, but at the cost of morality and character relationships. The endgame: choosing a path. In the latter stages of the game, The player has several choices about how to handle the mind flayers and their plot. The most significant decision revolves around the tadpoles, whether to rid the world of them or harness their power for personal gain. As the game's multiple paths unfold, the player discovers that they are not only fighting a physical threat, but also an ideological one. The player can ultimately decide the fate of the mind flayers, the Absolute, the tadpoles, and their own personal journey, but these choices come with consequences. The game features multiple endings based on the player's choices throughout the story, ranging from saving the world from destruction to becoming a corrupted ruler or even a dark god themselves. Themes in Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is rich in themes of morality, corruption, and redemption. The game explores the personal struggles of its characters, many of whom are torn between their darker urges and their desire to do what is right. The mind flayers themselves represent the theme of corruption, the dangers of using dark powers to control and manipulate others. The game also plays with the Dungeons and Dragons concepts of alignment, fate, and destiny, with the player's choices significantly shaping the world around them. Conclusion. Baldur's Gate 3 offers a deep, engaging, and highly interactive story that takes players on a journey of mystery, corruption, and choice. With its multiple paths, complex character dynamics, and a world full of magic and danger, it's a game that rewards exploration and decision-making, making each playthrough a unique experience. Whether the player chooses to embrace the Mind Flayer's power, side with the cult, or work to save the world, the fate of the Forgotten Realms rests in their hands. Would you like a deeper dive into specific character storylines or gameplay mechanics?